Yeah, welcome everyone to my talk, Sustainability and Digital Design at Scale. And I'd like to introduce a little bit about myself. I'm an HCI researcher at the School of Interactive Arts and Technology, and I'm a big proponent of sustainability, especially in the digital context. And I've been educating myself a little bit on this topic, and hence this talk today. So if you look at how society is thinking, society is constantly thinking in straight lines. We buy products, we use them, we buy more, and we are constantly in this process of consumption. And if you even look at companies, they're trying to think of maximizing profitability, maximizing efficiency, and maximizing growth. In this context, design can offer a new perspective to see this world. Like industrial design and print design before, digital design can also help us connect to the bigger reality. If you look at how products have connected with us, they've connected with us on an emotional level, on a utilitarian level, even on a functional level. But to truly create meaningful impact, we have to hit hard on the belief system, and then only we can create meaningful impact through our creations. But as digital designers, our first responsibility is to work towards social sustainability. I read this fascinating piece called When Corrections Fail by Brandon Nyhan, and it highlights how the first things that you read about something are often registered as the truth in your mind. So with that as a context, if a platform decides to bring automatic curation to content, it's designers' responsibility to define how socially sustainable those first interactions are. And can that platform in any way prevail white lies in the community? Can it alter perception? These are dialogues that a designer needs to engage with. It is also the responsibility of a designer to define how the impact of a technology on the world is exposed to the user. Because the user needs to learn about the technology at an equal pace at which technology learns about its users. It could be as simple as exposing raw numbers on a public portal, or it could even be making the resource impacts and the operations usage transparent to the public. We cannot also let users just choose convenience over consequences enabled through our design. We'll take these two examples of popular ride-hailing services and think about them in the context of a developing nation with traffic and congestion problems, where one product is trying to prioritize economic but one person per ride option, whereas the other is trying to go for a more responsible ride-sharing option as a priority. Instead, we need to make users much more empowered and knowledgeable. Case in point is this new this app from Nike called the Making app. And they allow product creators, fabric designers, to understand the impact of the material that they choose in their designs. Another design-first solution is in the area of sharing economy, and this app called Divi is a bicycle lending platform. Just from the numbers on their public website, there have been more than 3.8 million rides taken in the year 2018 alone, and this number is just increasing. So sharing economy is here to stay, and it's going to be an important aspect of sustainable development. Now let's look at the digital consumer lifecycle. I think it's a greatly emotionally biased lifecycle. On one end, products are trying to encourage you to buy more, to use more, to share more. But on the other end, there's just a dearth of emotion when it comes to ending relationships. There's a lot of evidence that suggests that there's just no vocabulary around how to offboard people, how to offboard users from experiences. And I'll take an example of a popular cloud printing app solution. Like, it's so easy to onboard and use the product, but there comes a time when I want to end the relationship with that empty cartridge. I just cannot throw it away in a garbage because it's environmentally detrimental. But I try to find information in the app resource section, in the help section. What I find more is marketing material. So a big bit of digging online and research, I find that the company has a great recycling program where you just mail back the cartridge to them, and they'll recycle it for you. But this was a hidden information. It was a hidden experience. So the better experience would have been to actually integrate the cartridge recycling program with the empty cartridge warning on the app, and that would have closed the cycle much better. Digital interventions are trying to distance us from the waste that we generate and the constant consumption activities that we're involved in. Design solutions like one-click shopping and same-day delivery, they're trying to separate us from the waste that we generate, and they have to start reflecting responsible behaviors. The physical and digital divide, I think, is the most important factor which contributes to negative impact on on sustainability. We are constantly designing in separate digital and physical context, and we just don't know the impact of our work. Some of the products that are trying to work around this problem are this app called Good Guide, which helps users find better purchase decisions in their day-to-day lives. Another example is the Love Food, Hate Waste service, which is trying to mitigate the problem of food wastage, and which is a big problem in North America. What they're trying to do is they help you find delicious recipes from the leftovers that are present in your fridge. I know these direct avenues and these direct bridges between the digital and physical is inviting, but what happens is it's hard to make users come to a new platform and make them stick to a new platform. So how can you, in fact, encompass a broader audience and make them those who are not even seeking out environmental actions? So there's some ways that you can think about, which is thinking about the unintended consequences of your design. What is your experience trying to make easy? So let's look at an example of ordering something online. It's so easy on these websites to place multiple orders just in the span of, let's say, 5 or 10 minutes. And these orders are going to be separately shipped in separate packaging, separate invoices. And this leads to, this is an experience that makes your life easy, but it's causing real-world impact. Even when Netflix claims that the act of streaming has a carbon footprint much lesser than your act of breathing, I think they're not considering the whole range of activities, like the energy being used and dissipated from the server infrastructure. So there's a line between the physical and digital, and it blurs, and we have to think about that line. Like Uber considers itself as a digital-first company, but every single day, they have 1 million vehicles on the road, and they get to decide where they are at each point of time in the day. So as designers, let's say as interface designers, there are even these small tweaks that you can do at interface level to induce more sustainable behaviors in people. Flight booking websites, they can educate users about eco-friendlier options because flights with multiple layovers are less eco-friendly than the flights which have non-stop flights. So you can educate about that, and up to 35% increase in fuel fuel emissions when you choose a flight with more layovers. Even job searching websites, they can start introducing remote as a first-class citizen in the location parameters. Marketplaces, which are buyer-seller marketplaces, you can actually nudge users about selling back previously bought goods when you're trying to buy a new product in the same category. Or rather, any e-commerce website, you can try and educate users about eco-friendlier shipping methods when you have multiple options. So ground shipping is clearly a much better method of shipping. Something that is actually happening right now is food delivery apps. They try to allow users to say no to plastic cutlery when you're ordering food to a home address. So this is some of the interface level tweaks that can happen. So at the very end, I'd like to just touch a bit upon uncertainty when it comes to designing for sustainability. I know as designers, we always question the effectiveness of our work, especially when the consequences can be this big. To them, I'd like to quote Rebecca Solnit, who said that hope locates itself in the premises that we don't know what will happen. And in the spaciousness of uncertainty is the room to act. So however different the interpretation of sustainability might be for designers, we cannot do much without hope. So yeah, thank you for listening, and have a great conference.